guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about some Blake 7. I do, of course, have my Blu-ray box set, and I did just watch the Duel on it with updated effects. So this, of course, is the first time I have seen an episode of Blake 7 on Blu-ray with that kind of restoration. The first time I've seen one with updated effects. And since I am watching through Blake 7 for the first time, other than extremely hazy memories of seeing a little bit of it in the 80s, I did a whole video about that, how Blake 7 is a series I've known of for like my whole life, but I only have like hazy, cloud-like echo memories where like the only character's name I could have told you was Blake. That's all I really knew. Very faint memories. Like I remember Blake had curly hair. I remember in my video when I talked about how little I knew about it, I remember saying some of the faint things I remembered. I remember saying, I think Blake had curly hair, and somebody in the comments was like, yes, he did. I'm like, So, this is also the first time I had watched an episode without filming a reaction to it. The first 7 episodes I had reacted to. I had filmed myself reacting to it, which is one of the reasons why Blake 7 has come out at such a snail's pace here, because I really hate, I've figured out I really hate editing reaction videos, big time. But I had done that with the first 7. Those were, of course, Patreon exclusives. And when this box set came out, I did ask, basically, if they wanted me to continue to do those, or if they were okay with me just doing reviews. And everybody seemed to be either fine with me just doing reviews, or maybe doing reviews and reacting to important episodes. Of course, the hard thing with that being watching through the show for the first time is you don't know which episodes are the important episodes. Like season finales, of course. Like I think season finales I'll still react to. And maybe, I don't know, some people say enough, like in the comments, hey, you need to do this episode. Like whenever I get to the Colin Baker one, for example, I don't know what the name of that episode is. I know it's in season 3, and you don't have to tell me the name of it. That could just be when I get to it, people could be like, you need to watch this episode, because I probably do want to react to that one. But maybe important episodes, if I see think people in the comments saying, these are the ones you need to react to. And I see the same episode showing up, I'll be like, But for the most part, I think I'm just going to be doing reviews. But getting back to my original point, the great thing about this was I got to watch an episode of Blake 7 without having in my head going, I have to remember to react to this. I have to react to this. I could just enjoy the episode. I didn't have to keep in mind that I was reacting to an episode. I could just enjoy the episode. And that was nice. I actually really enjoyed that. Now, the first, 3 episodes I had reacted to watching them on my TV. The other 4 I had reacted on my computer. So it was nice to be able to put in the Blu-ray on my TV and just sit down and enjoy it. And I liked that. So, The Duel. The Duel is a good episode that is also a disappointing episode. For some reason, I thought this episode was a big deal. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the name, The Duel. I figured it was a showdown between Blake and Travis, is that his name? Which it was. And I remember in the trailer for the season 1 box set, there was a scene or two of them fighting in the woods, and I assumed that was probably from this episode, which it was. Which the location work had to have been shot on film, because that looks beautiful. And I'm guessing those are the original film elements for that fight in the forest, because that looked really good. So I'm assuming those are the original film elements for that. I really liked it. I liked the episode. It had a lot of action going on. I liked... I thought it was a good episode of Blake 7. My problem, I have some disappointments. One, it honestly just reminds me of the Star Trek, the original series episode, Arena, which is basically the one where Kirk has to fight the lizard guy. Yes, I know he's a Gorn. I know he's called a Gorn. I like calling him the lizard guy, so I'm going to call him the lizard guy. It's basically that one, where Kirk fights the lizard guy. The lizard guy has the dagger. He moves very, very slowly. Jess on Seska says would love the Gorn because he moves ever so slowly. She loves a slow-moving villain. And of course, he ends up making basically like a bazooka at the end and stopping him, but refusing to kill him. It's honestly just like that. It feels like such a ripoff of that. Especially since this episode came out like a decade after that episode. It honestly just feels like somebody watched Arena and said, And we all know Terry Nation is really big on repurposing works. Most of the time his own. But that's what this felt like. Like I caught on to that very quickly too. When their ships were being disabled at the beginning, I'm like, this kind of reminds me. And as the episode went on, I'm just like, okay, I'm just seeing Arena. Which I actually rewatched Arena back during August when I did Trek Tuesday in August. And when I watched an episode of Star Trek every Tuesday, that was one of the ones I watched. Because I liked that episode. So it felt like it wasn't being very original there. I didn't really like the choreography of the fights either. The fight between Travis and Blake seemed too quick and too easy. It was very disappointing. I was expecting more of a fight between them. The updated special effects looked very nice. And I enjoyed the actual acting. The performances were good. I really liked when Blake and Avon are talking while they're being shot at. The fact they're kind of holding each other up. Like there's a couple times where they're getting rocked and you can see Avon kind of holding on to Blake, keeping him from falling over. It just shows a nice kind of camaraderie between them, you know, like, you know, friends in battle. Not necessarily friends, but comrades in arms, which I like. The fact that there's a mutual respect between them, even if they're fundamentally different and have very different philosophies about life. And I did love the scene when Blake is talking to her, and of course they're viewing it just like in the Star Trek episode, and Blake is talking to the younger woman, whose costume designer I absolutely, really adore. And he's like, well, the difference is my crew is all, you know, with me by choice. And it cuts to Avon, and he's like, oh, really now? I forget exactly what he says, but it's like, that's the basic gist of it was, oh, really? And he says it in that deadpan delivery that is just so Avon. I love Avon. Like, I have this huge affinity for Paul Darrow. I don't know why, because I didn't grow up with him. But if you've heard me talk about Time Lash, I just have this strange affinity for Paul Darrow. I just do. And I love his deadpan delivery of just, in general, how he plays Avon. I remember there's one episode, I don't remember what it was, where he's actually saying something and he smiles as he's saying it. And I remember being like, and he was saying something in this kind of, it wasn't a like pleasant, happy smile. It's like he was saying something, not quite sarcastically, but I can't really think of the word I'm looking for it, but it was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, Avon is definitely my favorite character so far, with Blake like right behind him. I really like the two of them. It was nice to see Travis back again. I'm liking Travis, the guy, Steven, is that his name, who plays Travis, is doing a good job with him. The weird vampire girl thing, the Muto or whatever she's called, the mutant or whatever, that's a little weird. Like vampires, that's a little odd, but I wonder if we'll see her again or if she's just a one-off character. It was nice to see Sally get a little bit, is that her name? Or that's the actress's real name, I think. What's her show name? Jenny, I forget. The Blonde. Let's just call her the Blonde. It was nice to see her get a little bit to do. I mean, she had to play damsel in distress a little at the end, but at least she's there to give Blake someone to give dialogue off of. I've said my biggest complaint about the show is besides Blake and Avon, the other characters don't really get a lot to do. They don't get very fleshed out. Like the brunette, I like that the brunette had a little more to do in episode 7 when her and Avon were on the space dock trying to find the murderer. She had a little bit more to do there, which I liked. And then the blonde gets some stuff to do here. Villa. I really wish Villa got fleshed out more. He's just kind of the cowardly, cynical type, but not cynical like the way Avon is cynical. Villa's that kind of person, if I was locked in a room with, I would strangle him eventually because I'd just get tired of listening to him talk. Which, nothing against Michael Keating. Michael Keating's playing the role great. It's just the character. And then what, Gant, I think is the other guy's name. I really do not know much about Gant's character at all, other than he's loyal. He's very loyal. Other than that, I feel like those characters haven't gotten fleshed out a lot. I'd like to see more of that. Of course, I want more of Jacqueline Pierce as well. I have not gotten enough of Jacqueline Pierce. Someone did mention to me that she was originally supposed to be a one-off character. So maybe once they decided, hey, the audience likes her, we need to bring her back. It took them a minute to get her into the scripts. But I liked her in episode 6, and I hope we get more of Peter Miles in there somewhere. So ultimately, I enjoyed the episode. I know I've talked kind of bad about it, but I did enjoy the episode. The updated effects, again, look really nice. It's just disappointing because I was expecting more from it. For some reason, I walked into this episode thinking this episode was one of the big deals of Blake 7. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something maybe I saw somewhere or if I just built it up in my own head because of the name. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a Star Trek ripoff, which honestly, I think Star Trek did it better. But that could just be because I like that episode and I've seen it a dozen times. But this was still a fun watch. I still enjoyed it. I don't know if it's my least favorite episode of the season or not, simply because I went in with high expectations. But I liked it. And again, the restoration work on the Blu-ray looked good, especially those, what had to be the film elements in the forest, looked really, really good. And I am looking forward to the next episode as well. So I want to know what you think of the Duel and what you think of my thoughts on the Duel. Comment down below and let me know. And which one you prefer between Star Trek's Arena and Blake 7's The Duel and how they're similar. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There's a link to that down there as well. I want to give a shout out to a couple of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney and Sam Venning. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It's very much appreciated. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. A link to my Amazon wish list is down there. A link to my Amazon UK wish list is also down there. And most importantly, thank you for watching.